The security monitor glows blue in the darkness of Han Tae-jun's office. His fingers hover over the keyboard. Camera 3 shows the living room, camera 7 shows the kitchen, camera 12 shows the playroom upstairs. He rewinds the footage to 4:47 p.m. The timestamp blinks. His jaw tightens. There. She walks through the front door. His children's faces transform. His son sprints across the hardwood floor. His daughter drops her coloring book mid-crayon. They don't do that for him. Not anymore. Maybe they never did.
Oh, it's flying! My turn!
Wow, you're both so excited!
Hiya, that's a bird. I want paper.
Grace, look what I made, his daughter shouts, waving construction paper. Can we make the fort again? His son begs, tugging her sleeve. She kneels. Eye level. She always kneels. Han Tae-jun leans closer to the screen. Her lips move, but the audio is muted. Whatever she says makes his son laugh. A real laugh. The kind that shakes small shoulders. The kind Han Tae-jun hasn't heard in months, directed at him.
What is she doing that I isn't?
He stops the footage, rewinds, plays it again. Welcome to K-Stories by Emma. Before we continue, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any story. Han Tae-jun built an empire on reading people. He survived the Korean underworld by knowing who wanted him dead before they knew it themselves. He negotiated billion-dollar contracts by catching micro-expressions across boardroom tables. But his own children? They're strangers living in his house. Polite strangers who eat his food and sleep under his roof and barely meet his eyes. Grace DeLon has worked for him for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. And somehow she cracked a code he's been trying to solve for 3 years. Hi viewers, have you ever felt like a stranger in your own home? I'll be so glad to hear your experience and what it was like. Drop a comment below. Let's interact. He doesn't fear rivals anymore. The men who once wanted him dead either forgot or moved on. Federal prosecutors cleared his company after 2 years of audits. His tech firm in Clayton, Missouri generates clean money now, legal money. His past stays buried where it belongs. But irrelevance? That terrifies him. His children used to grab his pant legs when he walked through the door, back when they were barely walking. Now they sit on the couch and offer tiny waves, dutiful, distant, like he's a landlord collecting rent. He replays the footage a 3rd time. Grace touches his daughter's shoulder, just once, brief. His daughter leans into it, starving for something he can't name. He provides everything: private Montessori school, organic meals, educational toys vetted by child psychologists, a house in Ladue with a yard bigger than most parks. Yet they light up for a woman who takes the metro and carries her lunch in Tupperware. What is she doing that he isn't? The question eats at him. He scrolls through 2 weeks of footage: breakfast, pickup, homework, bedtime routines on the 3 nights he asked her to stay late. Nothing unusual, no red flags. She's professional, kind, competent, and his children love her more than they love him. He picks up his phone, dials his head of security. Rashawn answers on the first ring. I want full access to every camera in my house, Han Tae-jun says. Even the ones in the hallways, the backyard. I want motion alerts. I want cloud backups. I want to be able to watch from anywhere. Rashawn pauses. Sir, is there a... Just do it. He hangs up. His calendar shows a board meeting in Dallas next Tuesday. He opens his laptop, books a flight, books a hotel, sends the itinerary to his assistant, forwards it to Grace with a simple message. We'll need you to stay with the twins Tuesday through Thursday, overnight. He stares at the screen. Then he cancels the flight. The hotel reservation stays active, the calendar invite stays sent, but Han Tae-jun won't be in Dallas. He'll be watching. Han Tae-jun held his newborns for the first time in a hospital corridor, painted the color of old bones. His wife never got to hold them. Barnes Jewish Hospital, maternity ward, 4th floor. The window overlooked the parking lot where his security team waited. Standard protocol. He always traveled with protection back then. Enemies don't respect hospital visits. His wife, Min So, labored for 11 hours. The twins came early, premature but healthy. The doctor said she did beautifully. Han Tae-jun stood by the bed, watching nurses clean his son and daughter. Min So smiled, exhausted, radiant. Then, glass exploded inward. The bullet wasn't meant for her, it was meant for him. A rival from his Gwangju days tracked him across an ocean and 2 decades. The shot came from a sedan 300 yards out. Professional distance, professional angle. Min So saw the red dot on his chest before he did. She moved. The round hit her shoulder, traveled down, punctured her lung. She collapsed across the hospital bed, arms instinctively covering the twins in their plastic bassinets. Security rushed in. The shooter's car peeled out. Nurses screamed. Doctors swarmed. Min So died protecting the life he brought danger into. What grief does to powerful men is rarely loud. It makes them colder. Han Tae-jun didn't cry at her funeral. He stood in his black suit while 200 people offered condolences in Korean and broken English. His mother held the twins. He shook hands, accepted bows, thanked mourners for coming. Inside, something hardened. That night, he called every lieutenant he ever employed, liquidated every operation, sold off gambling dens in Seoul, transferred ownership of shipping routes, cut ties with suppliers in Busan. He dismantled a criminal network built over 15 years in 72 hours. His underboss called him crazy. "You're walking away from 40 million a year," the man said. "I'm walking away from a coffin," Han Tae-jun replied. He took his legal earnings, his tech expertise, and his connections to venture capital and built Prometheus Security Solutions from nothing. Cybersecurity consulting, penetration testing, corporate espionage prevention, completely legitimate, federal background checks, business licenses, tax returns that wouldn't make an auditor flinch. The company grew faster than he expected. Clients liked that he understood how criminals thought. They didn't ask why. Within 18 months, Prometheus had contracts with 3 Fortune 500 companies and 78 regional firms. Money poured in. Legal money. Clean money. But his children barely knew him. His mother stayed for the first year, taught him how to change diapers, how to warm bottles at 3 a.m., how to recognize different cries: hungry, tired, scared. When the twins turned 1, she returned to Seoul. Family obligations, his father's health declining. Han Tae-jun managed alone. He hired a nanny, quiet woman named Yoon-hee. She lasted 4 months before taking a job in San Francisco, better pay. He hired another, then another. 5 nannies in 2 years. Each one competent, none lasted. The twins grew, learned to walk, learned to talk. Started Montessori school at Forest Ridge Academy in Clayton. He drove them every morning before investor meetings, picked them up when his schedule allowed. They stopped running to him around their 2nd birthday. He noticed it gradually, the way their faces stayed neutral when he came home, the way they answered his questions with single words, the way they played quietly in his presence but laughed with the nannies. He bought better toys, hired child psychologists, read parenting books in Korean and English. Nothing changed. His assistant, Devante, suggested a different approach 6 weeks ago. "My cousin works in childcare," Devante said. "She's got away with kids. Studied trauma-informed care down in Louisiana. Maybe she could help." Han Tae-jun met Grace Delon on a Tuesday. She arrived at his office in a simple blue dress, no jewelry, hair pulled back. She answered his questions calmly. Her references checked out, background clear. Something about her stillness felt trustworthy. "When can you start?" he asked. "Tomorrow," she said. He hired her on the spot. Grace's first week changes everything. Monday afternoon, Han Tae-jun arrives home at 6:15. He hears laughter before he opens the front door. Real laughter, the kind that bounces off walls and fills empty spaces. He steps inside quietly. His daughter sits cross-legged on the kitchen floor. His son kneels beside her. Grace crouches between them, holding up flashcards with animals drawn in marker. Homemade, crude. His daughter shouts, "Giraffe," and claps. His son tries to steal the cards. Grace gently redirects him. They don't notice Hante-jun standing in the doorway. He clears his throat. 3 heads turn. His children's smiles dim like someone turned down a light switch. Not off, just lower, controlled. They stand, brush off their clothes, walk over. "Hi, Dad," his son says. "Hello," his daughter adds. Polite, measured, the laughter gone. Grace collects her bag. They had a good day, ate all their lunch, finished homework. She lists details like a medical report. Efficient, professional. She moves toward the door. "Wait," his daughter says, small voice. "Do you have to go?" Grace kneels again, eye level. Always eye level. "I'll see you tomorrow, same time." "Promise?" his son asks. "Promise." She leaves, the door clicks shut. His children drift to their rooms without being told. No requests for stories, no questions about his day. They simply vanish upstairs. Hante-jun stands alone in the kitchen, staring at construction paper animals scattered across the tile. Tuesday, he watches her through his office window when she picks them up from school. His daughter runs to the car. Actually runs. His son waves from across the parking lot. They climb into Grace's old Honda, talking over each other. Animated, alive. When he picks them up on Wednesday, Grace's day off, they walk to his Tesla in silence, climb in, buckle up, stare out the window. "How was school?" he asks. "Fine," they answer in unison. He tries again. "What did you learn today?" "Stuff," his son says. His daughter says nothing. Thursday, Grace returns. He arrives home early, unannounced, finds them in the backyard. Grace sits on the grass, no chair, just grass. His children lay on either side of her, watching clouds. She points, they point. They're inventing stories about shapes in the sky. He steps onto the patio. The stories stop. Is she turning them against me? The thought arrives uninvited, unwelcome. He tries to dismiss it. She's doing her job. She's good with children, that's why he hired her. But the question grows roots. He starts watching closer, her tone when she speaks to them. Warm, patient, never rushed. Her posture when they interrupt her. She stops whatever she's doing, gives full attention. The distance she maintains. Professional, appropriate, never overstepping. Nothing wrong, nothing suspicious, yet his children bloom around her and wither around him. Friday night, after Grace leaves, he sits in his office, opens the security system. Rayshawn installed the upgrades, every camera accessible from his phone now, motion alerts enabled, cloud backup active. He scrolls back through the week. Tuesday, 3:47 p.m. Grace and the twins in the playroom. She's building blocks with his son. His daughter colors nearby. Normal. Wednesday, his day. The twins sit on opposite ends of the couch, silent, reading separately. The distance between them feels intentional. Thursday, 4:22 p.m. Grace in the kitchen. His daughter stands on a stool beside her. They're making something. His son sets the table. Grace says something. Both children laugh. He rewinds, watches again, tries to read her lips, can't make it out. He opens Monday's footage, 5:33 p.m. The twins eating dinner. Grace sits with them, not at the head of the table, at the side. She asks his son a question. He answers enthusiastically. She asks his daughter something else. Same enthusiasm. Hante-jun leans closer to the screen. Then he sees it. Grace's hand moves to her pocket. She pulls out her phone, checks the screen. Her face changes, just for a second. Tension around her eyes. Her jaw tightens. She puts the phone away, forces a smile back, continues talking to the twins like nothing happened. But something did. The timestamp reads 5:34 p.m. He checks his call logs. No calls to her, no messages. He checks the household phone records. Nothing outgoing to her number. Someone else contacted her, and whatever they said made her afraid. Hante-jun calls Grace on Saturday morning. "I have a business trip next week," he says. "Dallas, Tuesday through Thursday. I'll need you to stay with the twins overnight." Silence on the other end. He counts the seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ms. DeLon? I'm here. Her voice sounds different. Tighter. Overnight? Yes. 3 nights. I'll pay triple your regular rate. Another pause. Longer this time. Can I think about it? She asks. He wasn't expecting that. Every previous nanny jumped at overtime pay. You and he practically begged for extra hours. But Grace hesitates, like he asked her to do something dangerous. Is there a problem? He asks. No, I just need to arrange some things. Can I call you back in an hour? Of course. She hangs up. Han Tae-jun sits in his home office, staring at his phone. Why does she need an hour? What requires arranging? She lives alone according to her background check. No children, no pets, no listed dependents. What's she hiding? 47 minutes later, his phone rings. I can do it, Grace says, but I'll need access to the guest room. I don't sleep well on couches. That's fine. And I'll need to bring some personal items, clothes, toiletries. Of course, whatever you need. Okay, she sounds relieved, almost too relieved. What time do you leave Tuesday? Early, 6 a.m. I'll brief you Monday night on their routines. Thank you, Mr. Han. She hangs up again, quick, efficient, like she wants off the phone. He opens his laptop, pulls up his calendar. The Dallas trip sits there, meetings blocked out, hotel reserved at the Jewel downtown, rental car booked. His assistant, Devante, copied on everything. He highlights the entire trip, hovers over the delete button, doesn't press it. Instead, he opens a private browser, searches short-term rentals near his house in Ladue, finds a furnished apartment in Clayton, 2 miles away, overlooks Forest Park, month-to-month lease available. He fills out the application under a shell company name, pays first and last month in cryptocurrency. Approved within 3 hours. Monday evening, he goes over the twins' schedule with Grace. Breakfast preferences, school pickup procedures, bedtime routines. She takes notes on her phone, nods, asks clarifying questions, professional as always. His children hover nearby. His son keeps glancing at Grace. His daughter holds her backpack straps. You're really leaving? His daughter asks him. Just for a few days. Will you call? His son asks. Every night. They don't look convinced. Grace kneels between them. Your dad will be back before you know it. We'll have fun while he's gone, I promise. His daughter hugs Grace, actually hugs her, arms wrapped tight. His son joins. Grace holds them both. Her eyes close briefly. When she opens them, Han Tae-jun sees something he can't name. Sadness? Regret? Longing? She releases them, stands, smooths her shirt. I'll see you both tomorrow after school, she says. They wave goodbye. She leaves. The front door closes. His children disappear upstairs without acknowledging him. Tuesday morning, Han Tae-jun loads a suitcase into his Tesla. Devante arranged a car service to Lambert Airport. The driver arrives at 5:50. Han Tae-jun climbs in, waves to the house cameras. The car pulls away. 3 blocks later, he tells the driver to stop. Change of plans, Han Tae-jun says. Take me to Clayton instead. The driver doesn't ask questions. Professional courtesy. They arrive at the furnished apartment at 6:30. Han Tae-jun tips him $200 cash. You never saw me. Saw who? The driver replies. The apartment is sparse, beige walls, rental furniture, but the living room window offers a clear view across Forest Park toward his house in Ladue. He sets up his laptop, opens the security feed. 12 camera angles fill the screen. Grace arrives at 3:40. The twins run to her car, backpacks bouncing, faces bright. He leans forward, watches. Grace sets her bag on the counter. His daughter climbs onto a stool beside her. His son opens the refrigerator without being asked. They move around each other like they've done this 100 times. Han Tae-jun adjusts the volume on his laptop. Audio crackles through. What should we make for dinner? Grace asks. Can we have jjajangmyeon? His daughter says. Korean black bean noodles. Grace pulls out her phone, searches something. I've never made it before. You'll have to teach me. His daughter beams. Let me stir the sauce. Then you're the expert, Grace says. She doesn't change the subject, doesn't redirect, doesn't treat his wife's memory like something dangerous. She just follows his daughter's lead to the pantry. They pull out ingredients. His son drags a step stool over. Camera 12, living room, 4:47 p.m. They eat at the coffee table instead of the dining room. Noodles in mismatched bowls. Grace sits on the floor, cross-legged. The twins mirror her position. His son slurps noodles. His daughter laughs. Grace pretends to be offended. That's very rude, she says, smiling. His son slurps louder. They all laugh. Han Tae-jun watches his children's faces. Open, unguarded. They look like they did before Min-seo died, before fear lived in their eyes. Camera 12, upstairs playroom, 5:34 p.m. His daughter sits on the floor surrounded by dolls. Grace kneels across from her, not sitting in the chair, not standing over her, kneeling, eye level. This one is the mom, his daughter says, holding up a doll with yarn hair. What's her name? Grace asks. She doesn't have one anymore. Grace waits, doesn't push, just waits. She went away, his daughter continues. Voice smaller now. She's not coming back. That must be really hard, Grace says. His daughter nods, sets the doll down, picks up another one. This one is sad all the time. Why is she sad? Because the mom left and the dad is always busy. Han Tae-jun's chest tightens. He leans closer to the screen. Grace doesn't offer empty comfort, doesn't say it'll be okay. She just listens. His daughter keeps playing, keeps talking, using dolls to say things she can't say directly. The dad tries, his daughter whispers, but he doesn't know how. Grace reaches out, touches his daughter's hand. Brief, gentle. Sometimes grown-ups are sad too, and when they're sad, they forget how to show love. His daughter looks up. Is my dad sad? I think so, yes. Will it ever stop? Grace doesn't lie. I don't know, but what I do know is he loves you very much, even when he doesn't know how to show it. Children don't need everything, they need someone. Han Tae-jun didn't understand that until now. He gave his children a mansion, private education, trust funds, security details, everything money could buy. Grace gives them presents, attention, permission to feel, and presents costs nothing. Camera 9, hallway, 7:18 p.m. Bath time. His son sits in the tub. Grace kneels beside it, not checking her phone, not rushing, just there. Grace, his son says. Yeah? Will you disappear too? She stops, washcloth suspended in air. What do you mean? Like Mommy and the nannies, everyone leaves. Grace sets the washcloth down, turns to face him fully. I'm not planning to go anywhere. But what if you have to? His voice cracks. What if something bad happens? Then I'll tell you first, I promise. I won't just disappear. His son nods, unconvinced but wanting to believe. Grace tucks him in, pulls the blanket up. His son's face changes. Fear flashes across it. Can you leave the light on? He asks. Of course, Grace says. She reaches for the lamp. Not that one, the closet light. She walks to the closet, flips the switch. Warm light spills out. His son relaxes immediately. Bad dreams? Grace asks. He nods. About what? Loud noises and glass breaking. Grace sits on the edge of his bed. Does your dad know? His son shakes his head. He's always tired when he comes home. I don't want to bother him. She doesn't argue, just sits there until his son's breathing slows, until sleep pulls him under. Then she turns off the main light, leaves the closet cracked. Han Tae-jun stares at the screen. His son has nightmares about the hospital shooting, about the night his mother died, about glass and gunfire and chaos he was too young to remember consciously, but old enough to carry in his bones. And Han Tae-jun had no idea. He doesn't know which light his son needs on. He doesn't know his daughter processes grief through dolls. He doesn't know they think he's too sad to love them properly. Grace learned all of this in 6 weeks. He's their father, and he knows nothing. Han Tae-jun doesn't sleep Tuesday night. He sits in the dark apartment watching 12 screens glow. Rewinds the dinner scene. Watches his daughter stir sauce. Watches Grace let her lead. Watches his son set the table without being asked. When did his son learn to set a table? He fast forwards, 9:47 p.m. Grace sits in the guest room reading. Her phone lights up. She checks it. Her expression hardens. She types something fast, deletes it, types again, sends, sets the phone face down. Who keeps texting her? He rewinds to Monday, same time. Her phone lights up, same reaction, tension in her shoulders, quick response, phone flipped over. Sunday, 8:23 p.m., before she even agreed to stay overnight. Text message, same body language. Someone's been contacting her for days, maybe weeks. But that's not what keeps him awake. It's his daughter's voice. The dad tries, but he doesn't know how. It's his son's face. Everyone leaves. It's the closet light he never knew about, the nightmares he never asked about, the grief they process alone because they think he's too broken to help them. Wednesday, 6:47 a.m., camera 8, his son's bedroom. Grace opens the door quietly. His son is already awake, sitting up, hair sticking in every direction. "Morning," she says. "Morning. Sleep okay?" He shrugs. She sits on the edge of his bed, doesn't rush him, doesn't fill the silence with empty chatter, just sits. "I had the dream again," he finally says. "The loud one?" He nods. "Want to talk about it?" "Not really." "Okay." She stands. "Pancakes or waffles?" "Pancakes." She leaves, closes the door gently. Han Tae-jun rewinds, watches again. The way she gave his son space, the way she didn't force conversation, the way she transitioned from nightmare to breakfast, like both things mattered equally. He's never asked his son about his dreams. He's never sat on the edge of the bed and just waited. He provides solutions, therapy appointments, nightlights, white noise machines, but he's never just sat there. His daughter builds a tower with blocks. Grace reads on the couch, not watching, just present. His daughter knocks the tower down, starts over. Grace glances up, smiles, goes back to her book. His son wanders in, flops on the floor. "I'm bored." "Want to build with your sister?" Grace asks. "No." "Want to read?" "No." "Want to be bored together?" His son laughs. "Okay." He sprawls next to Grace. She keeps reading. He stares at the ceiling. Neither speaks. Comfortable silence fills the room. Han Tae-jun watches this for 11 minutes. Nothing happens. No activities, no enrichment, no educational value. Just presence. And his children are content. He's been doing everything wrong. Wednesday, 7:34 p.m. He calls Devante. "Cancel the rest of my Dallas meetings," he says. "Sir, you have a presentation tomorrow with—" "Cancel it. I'm coming home." He hangs up, closes the laptop, stands. His reflection catches in the apartment window. Hollow eyes, 3-day stubble, shirt wrinkled. He looks like a man who lost something and just realized it. Thursday morning, 10:23 a.m., he pulls into his driveway, 2 days early. Grace's Honda sits in the circle drive. The house looks peaceful. Sunlight catches the windows. He turns off the engine, sits there. His hands grip the steering wheel. What does he even say? "I've been watching you through cameras. I suspected you of manipulation. I tested you like a threat assessment." He gets out, walks to the front door, uses his key. The lock clicks. Inside, he hears music, something upbeat, kids' voices singing off-key. He follows the sound to the kitchen. Grace stands at the counter making sandwiches. His daughter sits on the counter beside her, legs swinging. His son arranges apple slices on a plate, all three singing along to some song about animals. They don't hear him. He steps into the doorway. His son sees him first. His whole body freezes. The apple slice drops from his hand. His daughter turns. Her smile collapses. Grace follows their gaze. Her expression shifts, professional mask sliding back into place. Mr. Han, you're home early. His children climb down from their positions, stand still, waiting. The music keeps playing. Nobody moves. And Han Tae-jun sees the truth written across his children's faces. They're not happy he's home. They're disappointed. The twins eat lunch in silence. Han Tae-jun sits at the head of the table. Grace stands by the sink, washing dishes that aren't dirty yet. Nobody speaks. The tension feels physical. After lunch, his children scatter, his daughter to her room, his son to the playroom. Grace starts to collect her bag. "Miss Dalen," Han Tae-jun says. "My office, please." She pauses, nods, follows him down the hall. His office smells like leather and old coffee. He closes the door, gestures to the chair across from his desk. She sits, hands folded in her lap, calm, waiting. He expected defensiveness, excuses, maybe even anger at his early return. Instead, she just watches him. "I need to ask you something," he begins. His voice sounds harder than intended. "What exactly are you doing with my children?" "I'm caring for them." "It's more than that." She tilts her head. "Is it?" "They're different with you. Happy. They laugh, they talk. Then I walk in and they shut down." He leans forward. "What are you telling them about me?" Grace's expression doesn't change. "Nothing." "Then why do they look at you like their whole world and look at me like a stranger?" "Because you are a stranger, Mr. Han." The words hit like a slap. She continues, voice gentle but unflinching. "When's the last time you sat on the floor with them? Not hovered, not supervised, just sat." He doesn't answer. "When's the last time you asked about their nightmares, their favorite colors, what they're actually afraid of?" "I provide everything they need." "You provide everything money can buy," she corrects. "That's not the same thing." Han Tae-jun's jaw tightens. "I work to give them a better life." "They don't need a better life. They need you in the life they have." Silence stretches between them. He wants to argue, wants to list everything he sacrificed, the empire he dismantled, the fortune he walked away from, the danger he eliminated. But she's right, and they both know it. "They talk about their mother," Grace says softly. "Did you know that?" "I assumed." His throat tightens. "And the nightmares," Grace continues. "Your son dreams about loud noises, glass breaking. He sleeps with the closet light on because overhead lights remind him of something. I don't know what, he won't tell me, but he should be telling you." "I didn't know." "I know you didn't." No judgment in her voice, just fact. "They miss you even when you're in the same house." The words crack something inside him. He stands, walks to the window, stares out at the yard where his children used to play. "I don't know how to do this," he admits. "I don't know how to be what they need." "Then learn," says Grace. "Start small. Sit with them. Listen. You don't have to fix everything. You just have to be there." He turns to face her. "Is that what you do? Just be there?" "That's all anyone really needs." They stand in silence. He studies her face, searches for manipulation, hidden agendas, some ulterior motive. Finds nothing. Just a woman who understands his children better than he does. "There's something else," Grace says. Her tone shifts. "Careful now. I need to tell you something." "What?" She hesitates. First time he's seen her uncertain. "I grew up around violence. Different kind than you're used to. Street violence, the kind that takes people who can't afford protection." His attention sharpens. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I recognize the signs, and I saw something last week that made me nervous." "What signs?" "Someone watching, following patterns, timing routines." She meets his eyes. "I could be wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but I learned a long time ago to trust my instincts about these things." Cold settles in his stomach. "You think someone's watching my house?" "I think someone's watching your children." Before he can respond, his phone vibrates. Text from Rashawn, his head of security. "Need to talk. Urgent." Han Tae-jun looks up. Stay here. He calls Rashawn. The man answers immediately. We flagged something on the school cameras. Black SUV, tinted windows, circled Forest Ridge Academy twice yesterday, once this morning, Missouri plates but registered to a shell company. What kind of shell company? The kind that doesn't exist on paper. Han Tae-jun's blood turns to ice. Grace watches him, reading his expression. Double security on the twins, now. He hangs up. Grace stands. What happened? Someone was outside their school. Her face pales. When? Yesterday, this morning. The weight of 3 years' worth of safety collapsed in a single moment. His past just found his children. Han Chae-jun calls his children down from their rooms. They appear at the top of the stairs, hesitant. Pack a bag, he says. Clothes for 3 days. His daughter's eyes widen. Why? We're staying somewhere else for a while. Where? His son asks. The Ritz-Carlton downtown. Rashawn's already arranged it. Grace steps forward. Mr. Han, maybe I should. You're coming too, he interrupts, non-negotiable. She doesn't argue. 30 minutes later, 2 black Mercedes SUVs idle in the driveway. Rashawn's team, armed, professional. They move the family like precious cargo. 1 vehicle ahead, 1 behind. Grace rides with the twins in the middle car. Han Chae-jun follows in his Tesla, 3 security personnel with him. His phone rings. Rashawn. We got the vehicle, Rashawn says. Pulled it over near Highway 40. Driver's not talking, but we ran the plates through our contacts. And? Registered to a holding company out of Chicago. Dug deeper. Shell Corporation links back to Jang Myung-sik. The name hits like a fist. Jang Myung-sik, former lieutenant in the Gwangju organization. The man who orchestrated the hospital hit 3 years ago. The man who killed Min So. I thought he was in prison, Han Chae-jun says. Released 6 months ago. Good behavior. His grip on the steering wheel tightens. Where is he now? Unknown, but the driver had surveillance photos. Your house, your children's school, the maid's car. Grace. They're watching Grace, too. At the hotel, Rashawn's team secures 2 adjoining suites on the 23rd floor. Grace settles the twins in one room. Han Chae-jun paces in the other. His phone buzzes. Unknown number. He answers. Static. Then a voice. Smooth, familiar, speaking Korean. Han Chae-jun, it's been a long time. Myung-sik. You left without saying goodbye. That was rude. I had nothing left to say. You had everything, power, respect, money, and you threw it away for what? To play businessman? To pretend you're clean? Han Chae-jun moves to the window. St. Louis spreads below. What do you want? I want you to understand something. You can't retire from history. Your past doesn't disappear because you wish it away. Your past is dead. Your wife is dead, Jang Myung-sik corrects. Your past is very much alive, and it's watching. The line goes dead. Han Chae-jun stands frozen. Rage burns through him, the kind of rage he buried 3 years ago, the kind that built empires and destroyed rivals. Grace knocks softly, enters. The twins are asleep in the next room. Are you okay? She asks. No. She sits on the couch, silent, waiting. I knew someone like Jang Myung-sik once. Different city, different reasons, but same violence. He looks at her. Lake Charles, Louisiana, 10 years ago. My little brother, Quincy, got caught between 2 crews fighting over territory. Wrong place, wrong time. Drive-by shooting outside a corner store. Her voice stays steady, but her hands shake. He was buying candy, 15 years old, just buying candy. They shot him because he wore the wrong color jacket. Didn't matter that he wasn't in a gang. Didn't matter that he was an honor student. He looked like someone they wanted dead. She meets Han Tae-jun's eyes. I watched him bleed out on the sidewalk while we waited for an ambulance that came too late. And the men who did it? They walked. No witnesses would testify. No evidence stuck. They walked. The parallel sits between them, unspoken. Both lost someone to violence meant for someone else. Both carry guilt that never fades. I'm sorry, Han Tae-jun says. I'm sorry too, she stands. But you need to know something. Running doesn't work. Hiding doesn't work. I tried both. The only thing that works is facing it. His phone buzzes. Text from an unknown number. Jung-ro Bar, Solard, 11 p.m. Come alone. Jung Myung-sik. Han Tae-jun checks the time, 9:47 p.m. He grabs his jacket. Grace stands. Where are you going? To end this. Don't go alone. I have to. That's what my brother thought, she says. That facing things alone made him brave. It just made him dead. He pauses at the door, looks back at her, at the woman who knows his children better than he does, the woman who survived her own war. Take care of them if I don't come back. You're coming back, Grace says, firm, final. He wishes he believed her. The door closes behind him. Jang-ro Bar sits in Solard's industrial corridor. Red neon flickers above a steel door. No sign, no windows. The kind of place that doesn't advertise. Han Tae-jun parks 3 blocks away, walks alone. His phone stays in his pocket. Rishan texted 14 times. He ignored every message. Inside, the bar smells like cigarettes and old wood. 4 men occupy corner booths, all Korean, all watching him. Jang Myung-sik sits at the back table, older now, gray threading his temples, but the same cold eyes. Han Tae-jun sits across from him without invitation. You came, Jang Myung-sik says in Korean. I wasn't sure you would. You threatened my children. What did you expect? I expected the man who built an empire. Instead, I get a father playing pretend. He pours soju into 2 glasses, slides one across. You've gone soft. Han Tae-jun doesn't touch the drink. What do you want? Acknowledgement, respect. You walked away like we meant nothing, like the Brotherhood meant nothing. The Brotherhood killed my wife. The Brotherhood made you rich, gave you power. Your wife died because you were careless. Han Tae-jun's jaw tightens. Is that why you're here? Revenge for wounded pride? I'm here because you owe a debt. You don't just leave. You don't just erase history. Watch me. Jung Myung-sik leans forward. I could take everything from you. Your company, your reputation, your children. You could try. Han Tae-jun pulls out his phone, opens a folder, slides it across the table. Jang Myung-sik picks it up, scrolls. His expression darkens. Bank records, shell company registrations, property deeds, shipping manifests, 3 years of illegal operations documented with forensic precision. I kept insurance, Han Tae-jun says quietly. Everything you've done since I left, every transaction, every partner, every offshore account. 1 phone call and federal prosecutors have enough to put you away for 20 years. You're bluffing. Try me. Silence stretches. Jang Myung-sik sets the phone down, studies Han Tae-jun's face. You really would burn it all, he says. Even yourself. I already burned myself once. I have nothing left to lose except them. Jang Myung-sik leans back, drinks his soju. You've changed. I became a father. And that makes you weak. No, that makes me dangerous. Weak men negotiate. Fathers eliminate threats. The words hang between them, final, absolute. Jang Myung-sik stands. This isn't over. Yes, it is. Touch my family again and those files go public. Test me, please. I'd enjoy watching you lose everything. Jang Myung-sik walks out. His men follow. The bar empties. Han Tae-jun sits alone, hands shaking now that the adrenaline fades. He just threatened a man who murders for sport. Backed him into a corner with evidence that could implicate them both. But Jang Myung-sik blinked first. The threat is over. Han Tae-jun returns to the hotel at 1:47 a.m. The suite is dark except for one lamp. Grace sits on the couch, wide awake. "The twins?" he asks. "Asleep," she stands. "Rashawn called me, said you went to meet Jang Myung-sik alone. It's handled." "Handled how?" "I made it clear he needs to walk away." "And he just agreed? Just like that?" Her voice rises. "You went to confront a killer without backup, without telling anyone. Do you know how reckless that is?" "I did what I had to do." "No, you did what your pride told you to do." He stops, turns to face her. Grace steps closer. "Your children need a father, not a martyr, not a hero, just someone who comes home." She leaves him standing there, alone with a question he can't escape. Morning comes too early. The twins wake at 7. Grace makes breakfast while Han Tae-jun sits at the hotel desk reviewing security protocols. The silence between them feels heavier than yesterday. His daughter picks at her pancakes. His son stares out the window. "When can we go home?" his daughter asks. "Soon," Han Tae-jun says. "How soon?" "I don't know yet." Grace sets down her coffee. "Can we talk privately?" They move to the balcony, 23 floors up. The city sprawls below. Cold February wind cuts through. "I need to tell you something," Grace says, "about why I do this work." Han Tae-jun waits. "After Quincy died, I fell apart, quit my job, stopped eating, spent 6 months in my apartment convinced the world was nothing but violence and loss." She grips the railing. "My aunt dragged me to a grief counseling group in Lake Charles. I hated it at first, but the counselor specialized in trauma survivors, taught us about how violence rewires the brain, how children who witness it carry it differently than adults, how fear becomes their baseline." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I saw myself in your children, the hypervigilance, the withdrawal, the way they flinch at sudden noises. Those aren't personality traits, Mr. Han. Those are survival mechanisms." Han Tae-jun's chest tightens. "I went back to school after that group ended, McNeese State University, got certified in trauma-informed childcare, specialized in children who lost parents to violence, gang violence, domestic violence, any kind that leaves scars you can't see." She turns to face him. "Your twins? They're textbook cases. Their mother died violently, their father emotionally shut down. They learned young that love equals loss, that attachment means pain, so they protect themselves by not attaching. I never shut down." "You became colder," your own words during our first conversation. "What grief does to powerful men is rarely loud, it makes them colder." He has no response. "I didn't take this job by accident," Grace continues. "Devante told me about your situation, widowed father, twins, struggling to connect. I knew exactly what that meant. I chose to work for you because I know how to help children like them. Not coincidence, not destiny, just two people who survived similar wars recognizing each other's scars." "They're getting better," Han Tae-jun says quietly. "They were, until yesterday." She looks back through the glass doors. The twins sit at the table, stiff, alert. They're hyper-vigilant again, running, hiding, armed men in the hallway. They're right back where they started, waiting for violence to find them. "I'm fixing it." "Are you, or are you making it worse?" She faces him fully. "I need to ask you something. Is this going to keep happening? Is your past going to keep finding your present?" "No." "Can you promise that?" He can't. Grace nods. "Then I need to consider whether staying is the right choice, for them and for me." "You're leaving?" "I'm thinking about it. These children need stability, safety. If I'm bringing danger just by being here, you're not the danger. I am." "Exactly." Her voice breaks. "And I can't watch another person I care about die because they were standing too close to someone else's war." She walks back inside, closes the balcony door, sits with the twins, forces a smile, asks about their dreams. Han Tae-jun stays outside, frozen. If Grace leaves, his children lose the only person who understands them. If she stays, she becomes a target. He created this, his past, his choices, his war. Inside, his son gets up for juice, passes the balcony door, pauses. Hante June doesn't notice him standing there, doesn't see him listening through the glass, doesn't hear his son whisper to himself, "Grace is leaving because of us." That afternoon, Rashawn clears the house, sweeps for surveillance, changes locks, adds security protocols. He declares it safe. They return home at 4 p.m. The twins walk through the door like strangers entering a museum, cautious, quiet. Grace unpacks their bags while Han Tae-jeon checks every room twice. His son follows him, room to room, silent shadow. "Do you need something?" Han Tae-jeon asks. His son shakes his head, keeps following. In the living room, his daughter sits on the couch, unnaturally still. Grace sits beside her, attempts conversation, gets one-word answers. Dinner is takeout. Nobody's hungry. They pick at noodles. The silence screams. At 7 p.m., Grace starts cleaning up. Han Tae-jeon's son stands abruptly. "Are we why Mommy died?" The question detonates. Grace freezes, plate suspended midair. His daughter's chopsticks clatter against her bowl. Han Tae-jeon turns. "What? Are we why she died?" His son's voice cracks. Tears stream down his face. "The bad man came because of you, but she died protecting us, so it's our fault." "No, that's not—" "Then why don't you love us?" His son's voice breaks completely. The words shatter something fundamental. Han Tae-jeon drops to his knees. Eye level, for the first time, actually eye level with his children. "I do love you," he says, voice raw. "I love you so much it terrifies me." "Then why?" "Because you're right." The admission tears out of him. "Your mother died protecting you from my choices, my past, my mistakes, and I can't forgive myself for that." His daughter moves closer. "It's not our fault?" "No, baby. God, no. It's mine, all mine." He pulls them both close. They resist at first, then collapse against him. "I brought danger to that hospital. I built a life that attracted violence. Your mother paid for my sins." He's crying now, years of grief flooding out. "I thought keeping you safe meant keeping distance. I thought if I didn't get too close, I couldn't fail you, couldn't lose you the way I lost her. But I already lost you. You've been right here, and I lost you anyway." His son sobs into his shoulder. "We thought you were sad because of us." "I'm sad because I don't know how to be your father without also being the man who got your mother killed." Grace backs away slowly, gives them space. This moment belongs to them. His daughter whispers, "We miss her too." "I know. And we miss you even when you're here." That breaks him completely. Han Tae-jeon holds his children, lets them see him broken, lets them see the grief he's carried alone for 3 years. "I'm so sorry," he says. "I'm so sorry I made you carry this. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I didn't know about the nightmares and the closet lights and the dolls. I'm sorry for all of it." They stay there, floor of the dining room, tangled together, crying for the mother they lost and the father who disappeared into his own guilt. Grace watches from the kitchen doorway, then quietly walks upstairs. 20 minutes later, when the tears slow, Han Tae-jeon looks up. Grace stands at the top of the stairs, suitcase in hand. "I think it's time," she says softly. "You don't need me anymore." His daughter panics. "No, Grace, please." "Your father's here now, really here. That's what you needed all along." She starts down the stairs. Han Tae-jeon stands. "Wait." Grace pauses. "You're right, they need me." He looks at his children, back to her. "But I need help becoming the father they deserve, and whether you stay or go, I'm done hiding." He pulls out his phone, dials a number. "Special Agent Kwan, this is Han Tae-jeon. I have information about Jang Myung-sik's operations. All of it. I want immunity for cooperation, and I want him arrested by tomorrow. Grace's eyes widen. He's burning his insurance, exposing himself, risking everything for his children. Special Agent Kwan arrives at the house 90 minutes later. She brings a partner, digital forensic specialist, recording equipment, coffee that goes untouched. Han Tae-jun sits across from them in his office. The twins are upstairs with Grace, away from this, protected from the details. Before we begin, Agent Kwan says, I need to confirm you understand that cooperation requires full disclosure? Everything you know, everything you've done, no omissions. I understand. And you're requesting immunity in exchange for testimony against Jang Myung-sik. Correct. She opens her laptop. Start from the beginning. Han Tae-jun talks for 3 hours, names every operation he ran between 2010 and 2022, every lieutenant, every transaction, every shell company. He doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't minimize, just facts. Then he shifts to Jang Myung-sik, the hospital shooting, the surveillance photos from last week, the meeting at Yongro Bar, the threat against his children. He opens his encrypted files, transfers everything to Agent Kwan's secure drive. Bank records spanning 6 countries, property deeds under 15 different LLCs, shipping manifests for illegal imports, communications between Jang Myung-sik and current gang leadership in Seoul. This is substantial, Agent Kwan says, scrolling through the data. How long have you been collecting this? 3 years, insurance policy. Smart. She closes the laptop. We'll need 48 hours to verify. If everything checks out, we'll recommend immunity. Federal prosecutor makes the final call. How long before you move on Jang Myung-sik? Once immunity is approved, we'll coordinate with Chicago field office. Simultaneous raids. His operations span 3 states. We'll need to hit everything at once. Her partner speaks for the first time. You know he'll figure out you turned. I know. He'll come for you. Let him try. I'll be in federal protective custody if needed. Agent Kwan stands. We'll be in touch. Don't leave Missouri. Don't contact anyone from your past. And, Mr. Han, thank you. This is the kind of evidence we've been chasing for years. They leave at midnight. Han Tae-jun sits alone in his office. No going back now. He just handed federal authorities everything. His past, his crimes, his only leverage. The old him would call this weakness. The father in him calls it protection. Upstairs, he finds Grace reading to the twins. They're in his daughter's room, all 3 on the bed. His son half asleep, his daughter fighting to keep her eyes open. Grace sees him in the doorway, finishes the page, closes the book. All done, she says softly. His daughter sits up. Is everything okay? Han Tae-jun enters, sits on the edge of the bed. Yes, the bad people won't bother us anymore. Promise? Promise. She hugs him, actually hugs him, no hesitation. His son joins, they hold him tight. Grace slips out quietly, gives them space. After he tucks them in, he finds her in the guest room, suitcase still packed. You're still leaving? He asks. I was, before tonight. And now? She sits on the bed. Now I'm not sure. You did something incredibly brave and incredibly stupid. You made yourself vulnerable to protect them. Isn't that what you said I should do? Be present? I meant emotionally present, not federally exposed. But she's smiling. What happens when Jang Myung-sik finds out? Then I deal with it. But this time I won't deal with it alone. Grace studies his face. You've changed. Had good teachers and better motivation. Silence settles between them. I'll stay, Grace says finally, but we need new ground rules. You don't make decisions alone. You communicate. You let people help. Deal. She unpacks her suitcase. I'm serious. No more vigilante meetings. No more disappearing acts. I understand. Good. Now go to sleep. You look terrible. He leaves, pauses at the door. Grace? Yeah? Thank you for not giving up on them. On me. I wasn't ready to give up, just scared. Me too. 3 days later, Agent Kwan calls. Immunity approved. We move on Jang Myung-sik tomorrow at 5 a.m. Stay inside, stay alert. 24 hours after that, the news breaks. Federal raids across Chicago, St. Louis, and Seattle. 23 arrests, Jang Myung sick in custody, assets frozen, operations dismantled. No mention of Han Tae-jun, no public spectacle, just quiet justice. That evening, Grace's car pulls into the driveway at 6 p.m., regular schedule, like nothing happened. She walks through the front door. The twins run to her, laughing, free. Han Tae-jun watches from the kitchen, setting the table, 4 plates this time. Grace meets his eyes, smiles, stays for dinner. Six weeks pass. The house doesn't transform overnight. There's no dramatic moment where everything suddenly becomes perfect. Healing doesn't work that way. But small things shift. Han Tae-jun starts leaving work at 5 p.m., not every day, but most days. His assistant, Devante, adjusts meeting schedules. Clients adapt. The company doesn't collapse. He picks up the twins from Forest Ridge Academy twice a week now. They wait for him at the curb, wave when they see his Tesla, climb in talking about their day. He learns that his daughter hates math but loves art, that his son is terrified of thunderstorms but fascinated by space, that they both miss their mother most during bedtime. Grace still works for them, same hours, same duties, but the dynamic shifts. She's not a replacement mother, not a bridge between Han Tae-jun and his children, just someone who fits into their family structure naturally. They eat dinner together most nights. Grace stays, not because she has to, because the twins ask, because Han Tae-jun asks. No romance develops, no dramatic confession, no kiss in the rain, just mutual respect between two people who survived similar wars and chose to build something better from the wreckage. Thursday evening, February rain patters against windows. The twins finish homework at the kitchen table. Grace reviews math problems with his daughter. Han Tae-jun helps his son with a science project about constellations. "Can we build the blanket fort tonight?" his daughter asked. Han Tae-jun looks up. "The what?" Grace smiles. "We used to build forts in the living room, back when you were on your fake Dallas trip." "It wasn't fake," his daughter corrected. "Dad was here. He was just watching us on cameras like a spy." Heat creeps up his neck. "You knew?" "We figured it out later." Grace laughs. Actually laughs. "They've been waiting for you to confess." "Why didn't you say anything?" Han Tae-jun asks. His daughter shrugs. "Because you were trying, even if it was weird spy stuff." After dinner, they build the fort. Couch cushions, blankets, chairs from the dining room. It's lopsided, unstable, perfect. Han Tae-jun sits inside it, cross-legged on the floor, his children on either side. Grace hands them flashlights, closes the curtains. The fort glows from within. "Tell us about Mom," his son says. Han Tae-jun freezes. Old instinct. Deflect. Change subject. Protect them from pain. But Grace's voice echoes. "They need you in the life they have." "What do you want to know?" he asks. "Everything," his daughter whispers. So he tells them about Min-so's laugh, her terrible cooking, how she sang Korean lullabies off-key, how she argued with nurses when the twins were born, how she loved fiercely and completely. He tells them about the shooting, age-appropriate version, honest but gentle. He tells them their mother was brave, that she chose them without hesitation, that loving people means risking loss, and she thought they were worth every risk. His children cry. He cries. Grace sits outside fort, giving them space, but present. Later, after the twins fall asleep in the fort, Han Tae-jun and Grace sit in the kitchen, herbal tea, comfortable silence. "They're healing," Grace says. "So am I." "Good." She stands to leave. Han Tae-jun walks her to the door. "Same time tomorrow?" he asks. "Same time." She drives away, taillights disappearing into February rain. Han Tae-jun returns inside. His children sleep in their blanket fort, peaceful, safe. He sits on the couch, watches them breathe, steady, calm. The house doesn't feel empty anymore. The silence isn't heavy. The ghosts are quieter. He had left the Mafia years ago, but that night he finally came home. The end. Thank you for joining K Stories by Emma for this incredible journey. If you loved this story, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything. Until next time, believe in love, fight for what matters, and never give up on redemption. This is Emma, signing off.